I love to feel like an artist, even though anybody that knows me personally knows there is no artistic ability in me whatsoever. But the technique I'm going to show you on this card makes anybody look like an artist. And it's simple because you know me, everything I do is simple. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how I did that. We are using the Touches of Texture, and it comes in 2 boxes stamp set. I've had this one for a while and kind of hesitated to play with it because I wasn't real sure. So I hauled it out today and I am in love, but I want to show you my technique. It's a form of watercoloring without having to really watercolor. So what we're going to do is we're going to start. I have a piece of watercolor paper and I'm going to spritz it here and get it kind of wet. I'm using the Stampin' Up! Spritzer bottles. These are awesome for doing this kind of stuff. So we get some water on there, and then I'm going to take this kind of a solid flower image, I guess you would call it, and we're going to stamp it on here. I'm going to hold it a little bit, let that color transfer, and then we're going to stamp it again over here. And you can see that color is just kind of running. Now, over here, it's not quite as wet, so I can always add some more water on there because I do want it to run. Now, here's the hard part. You have to have some patience. We need to let this dry before we do our next step on it. And I like to just take a tissue, and you can dab some of this off. That'll help because you can see where it's kind of pooling. And then I even use my heat gun to dry it because you do want to make sure that it is good and dry. So we'll just dry it with the heat gun here a second. There we go. Now, like I said, this card really is easy, but it makes you feel like an artist. So there was step 1. Now, step 2, we're going to take that exact same stamp again, and I'm going to ink it up. We're using Delightful Dijon here, and we're going to stamp it again right on top. I'm not really lining anything up. I'm just kind of hitting the approximate spot, and there you can see it. So now, you know, it was stamped twice, but this one we're getting the full image. And then to finish off our flower, I'm using StazOn. I prefer StazOn when I watercolor because I think it, especially on that watercolor paper, it gives you a crisper black. So we're going to ink up. This would be your more detailed flower image. Honestly, I am not trying to line anything up. I am just going on top of that flower that's down there. We'll stamp it on each time. And there you can see our flowers. And then next we want to just add the stem. So we'll take our stem image and we'll ink that up in StazOn as well. And we'll just put one there and put one there. Now, in order to kind of keep that watercolor theme going with this card, what I'm doing is using an old olive pad, and I've squeezed it and I have some ink in the lid, and then my aqua painter. And we can just pick up some of this ink, and I'm going to, you know, real loosely color it on there. Don't make it too solid. Let it go out of the lines. You know, make sure you got enough water coming out of your aqua painter just to get some watercolor look going there. We don't want too much on it, or too much solid color, because then we'd lose the watercolor thing we got going with the flowers. And that's it. Now again, I want to make sure this dries before I go any further. So let's just dry it again. And then one final thing I'm going to do before I add my words. This is the speckle image, I guess is what I call it. We've called it that forever. And we're going to ink that up and put a little bit of just some black speckling around the flowers. Now with this, be really careful. You don't want to ink this up and stamp it down and push really hard and hold it like I did with the other images, because look at how heavy that gets. So what we're going to do is we're going to ink it up, and I am going to just very lightly, just barely touch it and barely touch it. That way we don't overkill. And then we're ready to complete the card. I added words from Rose Wonder stamp set because I just love the greetings in that set. And there's our card. It's ready to send off. So I hope you like this quick and easy way to feel like an artist by doing a form of watercoloring that really doesn't require any artistic talent at all. So if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. And I will have the blog post in the description of this video so that you can go to it and get all the measurements and all the details and supplies needed to make this card. Otherwise, I hope you visit me at www.klompenstampers.com or my Facebook page, which is listed there as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a stamp happy day.